Are you ready for the King of the Ice? Pete's Power Plays with Philly Pete starts now on 12 Ounce Sports.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 episode of yours truly, Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete. And once again, we're live, as always, on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. I hope you all are tuning in right now as we speak. This show, as always, Pete's Power Plays, is sponsored by MyBookie. Make sure you go to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports, that's 120Z Sports, all one word, and first and foremost, they will match your first deposit up to $1,000. You really don't want to be missing your chance and opportunities to be cashing out not only my hockey plays that have been going pretty well as of late, but everyone else's that is on Twitter and giving out free plays and client plays. Those that are cappers, kudos to everyone out there that is, because that's a hell of a job to do, but everyone's going to be cashing together or losing together. Simple as that. But the only way to get your monies to grow large is on mybookie.ag. Once again, use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports. That's 120Z Sports. And they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Also, the mybookie.ag's casino is really cool too. So if you want to drop a couple dollars on blackjack, by all means, before puck drop or before tip-off, by all means, do it. But the best way to go right now is, again, mybookie.ag. And of course, Zingo TV, channel 761. Those that are tuning into channel 761, welcome aboard. Welcome to Wednesday's show of Pete's Power Plays. Those that don't have Zingo TV, please download the app on your smart TV. And when setting up an account, use the promo code 12 Ounce, 120Z. And from there, you'll be streaming live not only my phenomenal show, but everyone else on 12 Ounce Sports, their phenomenal shows as well. Kudos to everyone else for giving a really we're giving our 100% out there. We always have since day one. We have a great crew at 12 Ounce Sports, and we'd like to thank Zingo TV for giving us this opportunity for being a big sports forum for their TV channel. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Zingo TV, promo code 12 Ounce, and from there you'll stream live. Hey, you'll even hear my lovely voice right now if you tune in channel 761. Simple as that. So today's topics for today, we have a bunch to talk about. We have the recap, obviously, from last night. So the night before, we went 3-0-1, including the client play. So no loss there. We had a lovely push with the team total of the Islanders over 2. And then last night, we go in total 2-2. We lost the first period over 5.5. We did cash out the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation at plus 105. And the clients did cash out. This is back-to-back winning nights now for the clients as well. We're starting to get on a roll now. We're going to be heat checking tonight. So there you have it. And that was the Lightning minus 150 on the money line. So 2-2 overall. And the overall now, the last 2 nights, 5-2-1 in my last 8 bets. So that's pretty good. Twitter is doing pretty darn well. Clients obviously are doing pretty good as well. Back-to-back winning nights. And obviously sweeping their cards. But of course, now that you get to the wine and grind of the NHL playoffs with 1 game a night, it's tough to make 2 plays for clients. So I just go by the most confident play that I liked, and the clients. Obviously, last night had Tampa Bay. 2 nights ago, they had Tampa Bay. Last night, they had Vegas Golden Knights on the money line. So those have been my most confident plays going into this game. And of course, hey, if you cash out the regulation at plus 105, that's some good value, little value for you. But hey, either way, you didn't lose anything. You hit out, and you won a little bit of extra money from that too. Little $5 spot if you put $100 down on that game. So congratulations. So we'll talk more about that later. Tonight's game 2, Islanders and Lightning game 2. First off, does Barry Trotz have his team ready to rock and roll for game 2? At another plus odds, we'll see what happens. But the Lightning dropping 8 goals in the first game, that's saying a lot right there. This Tampa Bay team is, by God, phenomenal. So it's tough to stop these boys. When they're on fire, they're on fire. It's just tough to stop them. But we'll see what Trotz has underneath his sleeve for this evening. And last but not least, the AEW All Out recap. I want to talk about that first before I dig into hockey today. So all my AEW wrestling fans out there that are tuning in, I know there's a bunch of you. Stay tuned for this one. This is going to be a nice and quick segment of my show where I could just go over everything, and there you have it. So, but let's get into it real quick. So AEW All Out Saturday night. What a great pay-per-view, I should say. First and foremost, let's get into this real quick. I'm just going to talk about the important matches. We know that Big Swole beat Britt Baker in the tooth and nail match. That was in a doctor's office, or dentist's office, I should say, which was pretty funny. Good concept, but just, it was just typical match. I give that a C. And Big Swole ends up winning. I'm surprised there. Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. This was actually a good fight here. I really enjoyed it. This was a match of two stories told expertly by the men involved. The aggression, the frustration, and downright cold-heartedness of the Young Bucks. They were not the fun-loving, cocky, engaging stars we know to come, that have come to know and love. But this time they're nasty and cold. I think this is the point where we're going to see the heel turns. AEW is going to have a nice heel turn, I think, involving the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I think they're going to turn heel. Simple as that. We saw the antics from Omega within the last couple Dynamites, and it's just a matter of time. So the Young Bucks had some nasty and cold aggression to them. They were mean, determined. They were just overly aggressive, and it was awesome. It was good to see the Young Bucks in a nice, ruthless attitude, sort of era tag team that I like to see from this squad. But Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, they were resilient, they were explosive. They showed a type of heart that Nick and Matt made their names on and nearly upset them. And unfortunately, the Jurassic Express they just fall short, and the Young Bucks do take the victory. This was one of the best matches of the evening, I have to say. Now, this was a great, fantastic opener, and there's just going to be more and more and more to come with these guys. The Casino Battle Royal, nothing too much going on here. It was a good 21-man match. But I think the best man won, and that was Lance Archer. They're finally giving him the push that he needs. After a couple dark matches, it's all squash matches. He's finally playing to his potential, and you have a heel versus heel now. You're gonna have Lance Archer versus basically, Brian Cage. I was sidetracked for a little bit. Brian Cage versus Lance Archer for most likely his belt, most likely, and I just think that. You have Taz on one side, you have Jake the Snake on the other side. This is going to be good here. And, Darby Allin is in a rivalry with Ricky Starks, part of Team Taz, of course. And I just think that having Cage now with Cage fighting Archer, that'd be pretty cool. That's going to be a really, really good, battle of the big guys, I should say. Battle of the Goliaths, in other terms. But it was cool because they had a body bag spot, which was tough to watch. And... probably tougher to take, this is why AEW is just so much more creative than WWE right now, to be honest. You put a wrestler in a body bag with thumbtacks in it. It reminds me of the Attitude Era back in the day from WWF, which they will no longer do in WWE. But it's just phenomenal to see. Jake the Snake Roberts had Damien with him, had a bag of snakes. In his bag, and of course it kind of lured out Eddie Kingston out of the ring, and it's just nice to see they finally are allowing 10% into the arenas as well. You saw a bunch of fans there. They were socially distant. They had their masks on. Word on the street is that you could bring in your own drinks, but you can't. There's no alcohol involved. You can't bring in food. You have to eat and drink in the parking lot before you walk in. Now you could bring in waters and unopened drinks and beverages, just nothing alcohol related. But they're allowing 10% in the arena now, which is awesome to hear for AEW. It was great to hear Jericho's song, Judas, everyone singing it with the mask on. You could still hear it nice and loud. It was awesome. I got the goosebumps when I heard that. So it was really, really nice to see. And slowly, maturely, we are getting back into crowd action. Don't get me wrong, the Thunderdome for WWE is awesome too. That's really cool. But nothing beats in-crowd audience. I mean, what can I say? So again, we'll see. This is just a step for the future. Maybe the NFL looks at this and say, like, hey, maybe we can allow 5 to 10% in the stadiums. But again, time will tell. But it's just nice to see some fans in seats. As simple as that. But yeah, back to this Archer match. This was awesome. I liked it. Um, it's a could Lance Archer have a potential main event now? We'll see what happens. But heel versus heel match. It's basically what is going to happen here. We like that. But now you're going to have Lance Archer versus the reigning and defending and still champion Jon Moxley, and it's it's going to be a good fight. Archer versus Moxley. Moxley should still retain that, but this would be a good battle. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Broken Rules match. Man, this looked ugly from the start. I'm not giving this a grade because Matt Hardy basically fell through a table on concrete. Referee Aubrey Edwards put up the X sign, and that's a legit injury. Those that watch WWE, those are hardcore wrestling fans like myself. That's a sign of no, can't finish the match, and that was it. It was just a really awful take, bad angle, but somehow they still had to finish the match. And it ended quickly when they went up to the stage, and Hardy basically just punched Guevara right in the face, and he fell down onto a table. Quick match. They never used any of their moves. It's a shame. And Hardy, per sources, is that his MRI came back. He's okay. He's good to go. No concussion, which is insane, just the way he fell. YouTube it. It's tough to see. It's really tough to see. So he did pass concussion protocol after the match, but he did go to the hospital for precautionary reasons. Now, but the way they had to finish the match, people also are questioning. Should Hardy have been permitted to climb the stage, basically like in a trance? He's all messed up from that fall. But the finish at least gave the feud the jaw-dropping and it deserved. It helped AEW out of the corner it had booked into itself. And they also announced that if Hardy were to leave, the fight would be over. He would lose the match. So, of course, he's not going to leave. But the injury was really scary and bad. And, it really calls into question if AEW should rein in its talent, even if it's ever so slight. It's just it's to avoid stuff like this. It's really bad. But especially on the heels of the nasty powerbomb, Darby Allin endured in a thumbtack body bag just minutes earlier. He had a terrible powerbomb as well, in a body bag with thumbtacks. AEW is doing this really hardcore. It's a great concept. It's good to see an Attitude Era-ish sort of wrestling here, but you got to think about the health and concern of the wrestlers. And, this was bad. This is really bad. And, you Google this, Yahoo, or YouTube it, whatever it may be. Just the fall to Hardy on concrete. They missed the table completely. At least, Hardy missed the table for his head purposes. Straight on the concrete. He was out. And just the whole power bomb on Darby Allin was really tough to watch, too. So if you guys have a tough clinch to yourself in the heart, don't bother watching it. But, it's something worth to pay attention to in the future of AEW. Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa. Hikaru Shida won. And Matt Hardy did win the other match as well. Good fight between the two women here. Shida does retain. Real quick, Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the American Nightmare team versus the Dark Order. This was a good match as well. This was an awesome match. I enjoyed it. Cabana lost the match for Dark Order, and we'll see what happens with Colt Cabana, Mr. Boom Boom himself. And then at the result there, Cardona, Scorpio Sky, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes defeated the Dark Order. Now, another great match of the night, the Tag Team Championship match. This was kind of set in stone. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus FTR. FTR is the new Tag Team Champions. It could have been a little bit better, this match. But it just, I don't know. Some of these matches just never live up to the hype, and this was just no different. It was too long. It was just a long match. I was hardly keeping my eyes open. But just like the heat segments felt like they went on and on. But it was just such a bloated match for fans, including myself. Even the audience, it was tough they were struggling too. It was tough for them to get into. But, obviously it made sense here. Omega's V-Trigger hit Omega, and FTR obviously won the belts from there. So there you have it. FTR is the new champ. The the Mimosa Mayhem match, Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. Cassidy wins that one. Another decent match. It was okay. Still, Cassidy woke up the crowd, with his antics and his fighting, But Jericho is Jericho. I mean, he doesn't need the win to keep the fans. The best part of this match was the intro. When all the fans there was screaming Judas and singing it. That was the best part of the evening for sure. But hey, it is what it is, and Jericho gets dumped in Mimosa, aka water that was basically an orange food dye. And then last but not least, the Jon Moxley versus MJF match. This did work at some spots here. MJF did have, he did have some targeted hopes of applying, Salt of the Earth, his finisher, not in others. Another long match, had urgency, and just unnecessary blood. It looked so fake. It looked so fake. It was great artwork from whoever was underneath the ring during the cut of the angle when they just showed Moxley. But again, it is what it is. Moxley had to go against the rules of the match to beat the other guy, but he cheated himself as well. So he did hit the paradigm shift, and now you have it. Moxley versus Archer for the AEW Championship, next pay-per-view. But one would assume that MJF will remain in the title hunt, obviously, because of the controversial finish to the match. But this is the last thing we need is another match between Mox and MJF anytime soon. This will not be for a while. I see MJF fighting Cody at some point down the line. So there you have it. Now, next up real quick before I get into tonight's NHL Game 2 action between the Isles and the Bolts and my recap of last night, I got to tell you guys about mybookie.ag. Now, if you're going to create an account with mybookie.ag, make sure you use the promo code 12ouncesports. That's 12OZ Sports, simple as that. And they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. You really don't want to be missing your chance here to be cashing out not only everybody else's plays on Twitter, but of course, yours truly, Philly Pete's plays, and of course, my clients. My clients have been cashing out pretty good the last couple of nights now. Now you get on a roll. But the way to start getting your pockets bigger with some green, mybookie.ag, use the promo code 12ouncesports, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. It really is the best sporting site in today's world. Also, Zingo TV, channel 761. Ladies and gentlemen out there, thank you for tuning in on this Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only, that's right, King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete. And again, channel 761, Zingo TV. If you don't have it, download it on your smart TV. Use the promo code 12ounce, 12OZ, simple as that. And from there, you'll be streaming live, not only my phenomenal show, but everybody else's phenomenal show on 12 Ounce Sports. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, 12OZ Sports, Zingo TV, channel 761. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So last night's game. Last night wasn't too bad. Once again, the clients are on a back-to-back winning nights after a very cold last 5-6 plays. Prior to that, the clients were on a 11-6-1 run in their last 18 games, and here we are. You could add that. You could add 2 more now, so you're at 13-6-1 in their last 20 games. So there you have it, 13-6-1 run right now for the clients. Those that signed up about middle of last month. There you have it. That's the current run as we speak here. So, but Monday night we went 3-0-1. There you have it. We cashed out the Lightning Large. Last night we went 2-2. Clients cashed out the Vegas money line at -150. They're on a 2-game winning streak now. Back in the action as we speak. Tonight will be a heat check as I go for 3 in a row, my clients. The other plays were the Vegas in regulation +105, little bang for your buck. That was the winner there. You had the over first period. That was a loser, unfortunately, over 1.5 first period goals. And the over 5.5 goals total. Those two were losers. So Twitter plays go 1-2. Clients go 1-0. Clients are 2-0 in their last 2 games, obviously. Back-to-back winning nights. And overall, we are 5-2-1 in the last 8 plays here. So 3-0-1 and 2-2. So there you have it. 5-2-1 in the last 8 plays here. That's good news. Coming off a very stressful, last 5-6 days of plays. But like I said, when I bounce back, we all bounce back. And when I tell you the truth, I tell you the truth. So Once again, overall, the last two nights here, starting the brand new week, 5-2-1 overall in the last 8 plays for Philly Pete and the rest of the crew out there that tail my play. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at game 2 of the Islanders and Tampa. 70% of the money is going to Tampa Bay money line at -165. Very heavy juice going there for sure. But rest be assured, I just feel like this Tampa team is out for blood. I just really after last year's collapse against Columbus in the first round, they were up 3-0 and they lost and they got swept by the Blue Jackets. I really do think this is Tampa's. I just have a strong, slight feeling that this is Tampa's cup. I really do. They knew what happened last year. They're looking at tape, and I just truly think that this is meant to be for Tampa this year. I really, truly think. But we'll see what Barry Trotz has in mind for the rest of the crew for the Islanders. They lost 8-2. They got a shellacking the other night. And, what happens tonight? Well, a couple odds real quick. First of all, let me get you guys some stats and numbers real quick. Once again, Tampa Bay -165 on the money line. 70% of the money is going there. 30% of the money is going to the Islanders money line at +150. If you want some value, take the Islanders money line. I hope for a bounce back. I really, truly do here. Now, the over/under set at 5.5. The over/under has been 4-5-1 for Tampa in their last 10. Islanders 4-4-2 in their last 10. There was 10 goals in Game 1. I don't think there's gonna be 10 goals in Game 2. That's for sure. But these teams are scoring. They can score. We know the Islanders can score. They scored 3+ goals each game against the Flyers. Tampa, we know that as well. They had a really tough game against Boston, tough series against Boston, but they're still scoring. I know they won in 5 games, but they're scoring goals. If the Islanders can score at least 3, Tampa could score at least 3. This has the meanings of another over game here tonight. But the puck line, however, Islanders 25-18 in their last 43 puck line bets, and Tampa 17-26 in their last 43 puck line covers, including last night. So again, numbers are going to the Islanders' way at the puck line. The over I'm smelling the over again as well. But you got to think about it here. The number at +150 is pretty darn nice. The number at +150 is nice here. Those Barry Trotz have the willpower to get this team back in the action of Game 2. After Game 1, I felt like the Lightning could probably sweep this team. But we know the Islanders are a good team. Look what they did to the Flyers. They handled business against the Flyers, but they took 7 games. Flyers got lucky. I'll give them that. To make it a 7-game series. That should have been at least a 5-game series against the Flyers. But the Islanders are quick. They are elusive. They're a good team. But I just think Tampa is so much better. They are so much better. They are so much better than the Islanders. Maybe they're playing scared, the Islanders. Maybe they're like, oh man, this is like David versus Goliath. It's really not when you put these two teams together. Because like I said, the Islanders are a really good squad. They are. They always have been. And but again, I really love Tampa here. Another stat here. Basically, after Game 1, 3 hours, 47 minutes, 43 seconds of hockey last week. The Islanders predictably ran out of steam in Game 1, obviously, of their Eastern Conference Final matchup against the Lightning. We know that. Now, they had a whole week off, obviously. And I thought the Islanders would have came out a little bit more fired up, but no, that's why in my Game 1 predictions, I went with the better team, and I liked Tampa in Game 1. I just feel like, a lot of people think that if you rest for a week, it's not good, but sometimes it's actually good. The Islanders took the Flyers to 7 games. They're tired. Then they play 2 days later. That's not enough time. Tampa had all the rest in the world, nothing to worry about. Of course, they busted their load and dropped eight goals on Islanders in Game 1. Simple as that. Now, I don't think you're going to see 8 goals again, but will Tampa score 3? Most likely. Again, it just depends how Trotz brings this team out for Game 2. I see a much better situation here in Game 2. But once again, a much better defensive performance by New York obviously, is expected here tonight. We know that. But we know the Lightning, the masters of riding the momentum, have already posted 8 wins in their last 11 contests after finding the back of the net at least 5 times in their previous fixture. Now, that's insane. The Islanders, on the other hand, have won just twice in their past 8 meetings with teams that have scored at least 5 in their prior contest, while also sporting just 4 triumphs against Tampa Bay in their last 17 overall encounters. Not saying much at all for the Islanders here tonight. So, now, my clients do have the Tampa Bay Lightning as a future in the Eastern Conference. We had 4 teams overall. We have 2 of the Final 4. The other 2 obviously were gone. We had the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes were the dark horse. They were a small half unit. That was my future. I'm sorry, we had 5 Stanley Cup futures. 3 in the East, 2 in the West. Carolina Hurricanes at 33-1. They've been eliminated. Flyers, 28-1. They've been eliminated. Now, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning at 9-1. Those that signed up with me in September have had all 5, okay? But rest assured, we have one of the 2 remaining Eastern Conference teams left. Tampa, 9-1, okay? Clients are looking good on that so far. Western Conference, we had Colorado at 12-1 and Dallas at 18-1. Well, Colorado obviously was eliminated by Dallas. We also have a representation of the Western Conference. The Dallas Stars at 18-1. Now, we have Dallas at 18-1 and Tampa at 9-1. We are looking good so far. And obviously, Dallas lost last night, but that's okay. That's why you hedge some plays out. You know, I gave my clients out the Golden Knights the other night. That cashed out. But hey, the Stanley Cup future ticket still looks good, okay? So you got to look at these. And you got to say to yourself, if you have Tampa and Dallas as futures, you know, you're looking good. Obviously, you have 2 of the Final 4 teams. That's pretty darn impressive if you tell me. I mean, I even impressed my own self making these plays out back in August. I had these plays out since August. And then those that signed up with me in September for the year got these plays. So, you know, but that's how I like it. You got to start hedging sometimes now, you know. That's what I did last night with Tampa. I hedged out because I have Dallas. I liked it. Game 1, though, I did like Tampa over the Islanders. I know. However, don't be surprised if Tampa goes up 2-0 here. But now, just in right now, Barry Trotz says that Cal Clutterbuck will be a game-time decision and is thinking about lineup decisions, but the counter Lightning and also predicated on Clutterbuck's availability. So stay tuned for that. That could be a huge situation there for the Islanders if Clutterbuck cannot play. If Clutterbuck cannot play. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens in this evening's game. But you know, this is just a tough call for me. I just really think here that I'm gonna go with the value pick here, and I really truly think that Trotz gets these boys back in action. He's a good coach. Look what he did with the Capitals a couple of years ago. He won the Stanley Cup. Okay, he's a great coach. He means well. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put a small half unit on the New York Islanders money line plus 150. Now it might be up to 160 by the puck drop, but don't get me wrong. I just think that the Islanders, after getting shellacked in game 1, I really truly think that they will bounce back here. You have a great coach, like I said, in Barry Trotz. I like the Islanders to bounce back and win game 2 at plus 150. Okay, you're getting really good odds here. Again, it's a slight lean for me. Based on game 1, I like the over 5.5 as well. And of course, once again, I'm going to keep rolling with the wave again. I always ride the waves until it eventually crashes. So we're on the game 2 now. I like the over 1.5 first period goals for these 2 teams. I also like the over 5.5 in this game as well. And I want to take a small check on the New York Islanders to bounce back and tie the series up at 1-1 at plus 150. You're getting good value there as well. So there you have it. Clients, look out for your play, of course, for later on this evening. And Twitter, those that did not listen to my show today, of course, I retweeted out at least twice throughout the afternoon and evening so you can get your plays in. But don't forget, the plays will be out like usual on my Twitter timeline. So ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is my day. I'm out of time. But don't be alarmed. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 12 o'clock Eastern Time on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. Hope everyone has a great day, and talk to you guys tomorrow. See you guys. Bye.